Hey there! In this video, I built the airport terminal for the Fayetteville, North Carolina airport. As you can see here, this is the completed area right here, and I'm going to walk through all the different steps that I used to build it, as well as the supplies you're going to use, and also I built this in creative mode. So let's go take a look at the different steps and what you will need to do to recreate this airport yourself. The first thing I did was I created the posts that run along the roadside in front of the main terminal. And then I created the windows out of the dried kelp block, which actually works out as the very best thing in regards to looking like dark windows because you get that kind of framing from the dried kelp block. And then along the top, I used quartz blocks. In this case, it was smooth quartz blocks. And as you can see, I framed it out here. The width is 62 wide by 20 tall, and then you just want to fill this all in, and it will look like the middle part with all the windows. Even though it's dried kelp block, it actually works very well. And then I used quartz stairs to complete the top part to give it that kind of that look with the eaves at the top. So that is what I did here. So it's all quartz for that kind of white block. And then across the top, I used the chiseled quartz block to give it that more detailed look. And then this is how I completed the left side by using the smooth quartz as well as the quartz stairs to complete this side. On the left side, the building continues with the windows, so that's why it's not closed off. But on the right side, when you do this part, you want to make it a flat look. So I used the chiseled quartz all the way up and down to flatten that side. So once it is complete, you will have a flat right side and the left side will be open like that so that the building wraps around. For the next part, we're going to use diorite walls as the posts, as well as andesite for the curbs. As you can see also, I did the stone. And then for the very top, again, I used the quartz blocks running all the way down. For this next part, you want to continue building the center building with the chiseled blocks. You can see I flattened out the one side as all chiseled, so that part is complete. And then along the right side, you want to put in all of this part, and that goes about 20 blocks that way. And then you can see I have the corner going there. Now for the top part, we're going to complete it with the stairs going across so that it has that kind of look across the top. You will want to complete it with the stairs and the chiseled blocks across the top, and then this is what it will look like when you are completed with that center building, the front and sides. Next, you're going to want to do the buildings that are off to the sides of the main terminal building. For the right side, we're going to build out the length of the posts that you already created, and you're going to use the smooth quartz. We will build up, and as you can see, the curbs are made of andesite, and it's going to go about 2 beyond from the posts, at least for this first part. For the andesite curb, it goes about 5 deep, and here I'm cutting a little bit too much. I'm actually making it 4. It will need to be 5. And then you'll want to line up each one of the posts with the actual diorite posts for this part. So you want to put in the smooth quartz blocks all along, and it will look like that once you're done that part. Then for the next thing, you're going to want to fill this in with the andesite so that you are 5 deep with the andesite, and then go with the dried kelp block, and you're going to run this all the way across the back of the smooth quartz, so it will look like this for the right side terminal. So now just fill this in with the smooth quartz and have this go all the way across from one side of the posts all the way to the other side, so that you don't have to worry about that even for the left side. Now for the left side, we're going to cut this out so that we have the 5 andesite going across, and then put in the posts the same way you did on the left side or on the right side, and then it'll look like this. Now for this one, you don't fill in the dried kelp block. It is actually filled in with the smooth quartz, so it will look like this when you are completed. And you're going to then want to put in individual doors into each area. And again, we're going to use the dried kelp. Now later on, we're not going to have the dried kelp right there. We're actually going to put in glass in front of the dried kelp. But for now, this will work before I refined it a little bit more. and you will see that coming up a little later. So this is what the left side will look like once that is done. And then we are done the beginning of the terminal, at least from the front side. Now along the back, we're going to build out the left side terminal part first. We're going to just fill this in with smooth quartz, and it will look like that once that part is done. And then we're going to fill in each side so that it is a completed building, and then the back like this. So in the end, it will look like this on the left side. And that, when I say left and right, I mean when you're facing the building. Now we're going to complete the top, and it's going to look like that for the top of the middle part. And then we're going to fill in the back part. And again, we're using a whole bunch of the chiseled quartz for this, and it will look like that once it's completed. So we've got the left and the center part done, and all that's left is the right side for this front part of the whole building. And we're going to use again the smooth quartz to fill this in, so you can see there. And going in this way, we're going to have to cut out that so that we can complete the side there. And then this will be the way the back looks once you have filled it all in. This is what the whole building will look like once you have all the things closed up. And now we're going to work on the back of the terminal building, which will have the 2 main terminals. So you'll want to count down 10 from the very top and start the middle building so that it is slightly elevated above ground. So we're going to use the smooth quartz again, and we are going to count out 10 blocks from the actual middle building. So it's going to be with the smooth quartz. So you're going to count out 10, and then you're going to go to the other side, and you're going to count inside 20 blocks. So you'll go from that side, you'll count into the middle 20, and then you'll build the top that lines up with the other side, and that will also be 10 blocks. Then the bottom will actually be 4 blocks from the bottom. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Start building out the bottom, and then you can build out this middle back terminal part of the building, and that's what it will look like when it's all done. Now we're going to build out the part where the actual gates are. So from this corner, you're going to want to count out 14 blocks inside from where I'm building it here. I did have to move it later because this didn't line up in the correct way, but you will want to build this exactly the way I'm building it with this diagonal block in order to achieve where the gates are. So this is what it will look like once you get this first part done, and then you're going to want to build across. For this part, you're going to want to go out 20 blocks from where you started the gate part, so it will run parallel to the other one across the top. As you can see, that's what it will look like, but remember, you'll want to inset it 14 from where I have it right now. For this part, just build it out, build the complete part at the top. I had to cut a little excess, and that's what the gate part will look like once you're done this half. For the center part, you're going to want to inset about 2 blocks from where you started the top gate part and build this part out like this. So it'll be a rectangle that basically spans the entire behind that middle part of the building. Now for this part, you are going to build the gate from the corner of the center and go out the same way you did the other side. Line them up according to the other side, and oh, look at that, there's a pink sheep just kind of randomly there. Cool. So now the next thing you're going to want to do is go out the 20 blocks, which you've already done with the middle part, so that's where the 20 blocks are, and then complete this side of the gate part. So that's what it will look like once you are completed. You can build this however you want. I did it kind of like that. One side's a little longer than the other side, and then you're going to want to fill it all in, just like I did here. So that will take you some time. I don't want to show all that, but it was quite a lot to fill all of that in, and you do both sides like that. So now we're going to work on the middle building, and also what I had to do was I did have to move in that one side a whole bunch of blocks. Now for this, the center circle thing, there's this designed circle that is part of this airport, and it's a circular kind of dome-ish look. And so I did the circle like that, And there are websites where you can get the exact dimensions of the circles to create. And then for the roof, I used more of this crimson wood and used the stairs. You can do this however you want to create the dome. I did a mixture of the stairs as well as just regular slabs. Now you'll want to clean up the part that I did in the middle here. This was just for alignment's sake, so now I'm going to clean up this part, and then I'm going to build out this center circle dome thing and put this. This is kind of the middle part between the gated areas that people can go through, and this is going to be completed by using more of the smooth quartz to make it look like a cylinder with a hat. And this is what it will look like. Now we're going to do the windows. So you want to leave 2 blocks in the middle, and then we're going to cut out 3 by 5 for this part. And then again, fill in the kelp blocks, leave 2 in the middle, cut out 3 blocks, put in the kelp blocks. Now for the other windows that face the middle, we're going to actually only make it 2 wide, but we're still going to leave 2 in between. So leave 2 blocks in between, cut out 2 blocks, and then put in the dried kelp to complete those on the left and the right. You don't have to go much more because you're not going to be able to see, and I don't believe there's windows there anyway in the real airport. So that's what that will look like. Now we're going to complete it a little more. We're going to put kind of a top above all of this to make it look nicer. So we're going to go all the way around, make it look like that, and then we're going to use some crimson wood slabs to kind of put to complete the roof. And then that is what that will look like once you are completed that part. For the next part, we're going to use the diorite walls again, just like we used for the things in the front. And we're going to have that go to the ground. Now, later I am going to put those on blocks of smooth quartz to make it look nice. For the sides, you'll want to go about right across the middle and then complete this so that you're basically connecting the 2 gate areas to the center dome thingy. Now we will need to make the 2 gate areas look nicer by putting windows in. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it all the way across. We're going to do it from about 4 down from the top, and we're going to do these 3 tall. So what you want to do is cut it throughout first, and then you're going to want to put in the dried kelp blocks after you're done that to give it that look of having the windows. And you're going to want to do this on both sides, so that's what it will look like when it's done on that side, and then you're going to want to do it on the other side, which I did there. And that is what this will look like. And now you are mostly done the entire terminal building. Now we just need to put in a few of the details. For the light posts, I used diorite walls, birch trapdoors, as well as sea lanterns to complete this look, and you can build it exactly like that. For the roads, I used smooth quartz for the middle lines, and then I went too deep with the crosswalks, and there are 6 crosswalk blocks. For the main terminal building, I actually labeled the different airlines. So here's Delta. And for over here, I did American Airlines. Now, one thing you can do with this, I used the colored ink as well as glow ink sacks to do this look. So basically here I am putting in the blue and then some glow ink sacks to make it glow. And then I'm putting it red again because I prefer it to be red. So I did this for each airline. I made Shocktor Airlines in the very center of the terminal building. And then over here, I did a few other airlines. You can do whichever ones you want. For the doors, you can already see what I did here. I actually made them inset, and I used the black stained glass, and then I put the dried kelp behind it to kind of give that inset look. For these lights, I used end rods, which look perfect for a modern light fixture, and I used them throughout on each door, as well as you can see there on the various posts along the curb. So that is how I completed that, made it nice with the lighting. And for the very top, I used target blocks to do the Fayetteville sign that is at the very top of this, but I did the F with the blocks, and then I just kind of put a mixture. You can do this however you want, but for wording, it's very hard in Minecraft. For the back, I completed it by putting in the smooth quartz blocks at the bottom of each one of these posts on the center part. And then for the individual gate terminal parts, I put in 2 posts right next to each other. I put 4 blocks diagonally in between each and ran it right down, all the way down towards the end. And then I did the same for the other side. This one might be spaced out a little differently. You can build this however you want with the spacing, but this is how I did it. And this is what the full building looks like once you're completed. I hope you all enjoyed this build as much as I did putting it together. Feel free to add more yourself, like the gates for the individual airplanes, or maybe cars going across the front. Have fun with this build. For this build, I actually used Google Maps as well as Google Street View to complete a lot of the looks, as well as a little bit of Microsoft Flight Simulator to get some of the airport dimensions. So again, I hope you all enjoyed this build, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. And I will see you all next time.